Okay, so I will start now. So hello everyone, and thank you for attending this webinar. So just a reminder, we organize the webinar every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. in French and 2 p.m. in English. This webinar will last 30 minutes and will be recorded. And if you have questions, you will be able to ask me at the end of the webinar. So in this webinar, we'll see two use cases. The first one is how to prevent AI plagiarism using the peer review activity. And the second one is how to train students' critical thinking skills with ChatGPT with the peer review activity. So these two use cases will be seen in this webinar. So just to begin, a quick presentation about ChallengeMe. ChallengeMe, we are a company and we exist since 2015. So we are a peer review platform. So we provide an environment allowing the student to assess each other's on technical skills, so on the production they've made, or on behavioral criteria like communication within the group, initiative thinking skills, etc. So we allow also the student to assess their teammates with whom they have collaborated. We really focus on support, so you won't be alone with the platform because we really want to help you to define the challenge you want to launch and to help you to set it up. We work with most of business schools, engineering schools, and universities, mainly in France, but we also start to work with schools in Switzerland and Canada. And we are fully integrated with the main learning management system of the market, like Moodle, Blackboard, Brightspace, Camilo, and other LMS with the LTI standard. So before to see the two use cases, it's important to understand what is the challenge, what we are calling a challenge at the ChallengeMe. So a challenge, it's a succession of phases. So you can have this phase may follow one another or run in parallel, and you can use different kind of phases. So here are the 5 kind of phases you can add in a challenge. We have a work submission phase allowing the student to submit a work to the platform based on an instruction defined by the teacher. We have a work assessment phase allowing the student to assess the work of their peers. We have evaluation of group members phase allowing the student to assess their teammates with whom they have collaborated. So when I say to assess, I also mean to assess and to give a feedback. You also have a feedback assessment phase allowing the participant to assess the quality of the feedback they received to indicate if the feedback was relevant or not. And we have the result phase to present the results to the participant. So as I said, this phase may follow one another or run in parallel, depending on the pedagogical scenario we are addressing. And for this webinar, we will focus on 2 use cases. So the first one is how to prevent AI plagiarism by using the peer review. So here the idea is to ask the student to submit a piece of work to the platform. And then we will ask them to assess these pieces of work with different criteria, but we will also include one authenticity criterion, allowing the student to indicate if they have the perception that the work they are assessing seem to be produced by an AI tool. So if it's the case, they will be able to indicate it with this criteria. So we'll see how after. And it will allow the teacher to see if a work have been recognized to be produced by an AI tool. So if they see, if the teacher sees that a work have been have a bad score on this criterion, it means that it's a possibility that it's just have been produced by an AI tool. And then you can have an assessment phase by the teacher following this phase and a result phase. So this is for the first use case, and we'll see a second use case, which is how to train student critical thinking with ChatGPT. So this is a use case launched by a teacher, and we wanted to share to you this use case. And the idea here is to ask the student to produce a work with an AI tool like ChatGPT, and to submit these productions and with the prompt they have used to produce it. And then they will be able to assess the work generated by the AI tool and the prompt used, allowing the student to understand, okay, what are the prompts who generate something relevant, how I can use it correctly. So it allows the student to understand how to use it properly rather than just doing quickly and without understanding what they are doing. So for the first use case, just to recap, we'll use a human perception to detect the use of AI. It will allow the teacher to filter pieces of work potentially generated from an AI tool, and it can be implemented on any challenge. And for the second use case, it will allow the student to analyze the productions and the prompt to find out the other's prompt and renderings, and to receive feedback also on how they use the AI tool. So now we will see how it will work in the teacher side and how it will work in the student side. So I will switch my screen to show you that. Okay, so I'm now in a Moodle environment, so I will show you how to create these two use cases in a teacher side. If you use another learning management system like Blackboard or Brightspace, it's the same principle. You have a course, and in this course, you can add a ChallengeMe activity. So here I'm in the Moodle environment. So in Moodle, I have to switch to edition mode, and I will click on add an activity or resource. Then I will be able to choose the ChallengeMe activity. I will name my activity. And I will click on Save and Display. And I click on Open in New Window if I have this button. Then you will be redirected to this interface. Switch it to English. In this interface, it will allow me to create a challenge, so I can choose the way of creating the challenge I want. So I can choose the direct mode or the accompanied mode. In the direct mode, you can create your challenge normally. You can edit everything without asking our team to do it. So you are fully autonomous with the system. You also have to, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just me, but your microphone is often very distorted.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sometimes it happened. I will restart it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for
Okay, normally it should be better, right?
Yes,
better.
thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much. Was it since a long time, or do you want me to repeat some
No,
things?
just a few minutes, and it was understandable, but just, yeah, not very pleasant.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you for indicating it to me. So as I said, you can create your challenge in two different modes. So direct mode allow you to create your challenge with all the parameter. You can edit it when you want. You are fully autonomous with this mode. You can, of course, ask us if you need some advice or if you need help to set it up, but you have access to all the features. In accompanied mode, you will submit a form with some information regarding the challenge you want to create. It will send us a request, and then our team will generate your challenge for you. And it allows the teacher that want to use ChallengeMe, but We are not sure on how to use it to be sure that everything will be set up correctly. But you will have a validation step, so you have to set it up in advance. So today I will show you how to launch in direct mode, because you can use it, and if you need to have a validation in our site, you can just ask us, and then we can see your challenge and indicate if everything is correct. So I choose direct mode, and then here I can choose the challenge I want to create. So here it's in French. I will just switch to English. Sorry. Okay. I was in the webinar course. Yeah. So here I can choose to create an empty challenge, so to add my face by my own, or I can choose a predefined template. So here I have two categories of template: assessment of group members or evaluation of rock. I will choose this one, and I have a template called Prevent AI Plagiarism I can use. You have different other templates. If you are interested in, you can click on Discover to see what is this template. So today I will choose this one. So I can click on Create. I can name my challenge. I can add a summary. I can also add a profile image if I want. And here I can see the different face already created in this template. So here I can see that I have a submission phase, assessment of work phase by students, another assessment phase by teacher, and a results phase. If I want to add more phase, I can click on Add Phase and add more phase if I want. So you can evolve the challenge if you want. And by contrast, if you want to remove a phase because you don't want the teacher to participate, you can also delete a phase if you want. To edit a phase, you just have to click on it, and then you will have different tabs allowing you to edit the phase. So for all phase, you have a start date and a end date. So you can define them here. You can also allow the late submission if you want to still allow the students after the deadlines to submit a work. You can activate notification if needed. In the instructions, you will ask the student what they have to submit for this phase. So for the submission phase, this is the work they have to produce. You have an option phase, but I won't show you that today. And you have a participant phase where you will be able to enroll the students. So to enroll the student, you have two options. You can import your students from your LMS. So to do it, you can click on enroll teams or enroll individuals. It depends if the work have to be need to be done in teams or individual. So let's imagine it's a group work. I will click on enroll team. And here I will be able to select the group already defined in my Moodle course or my LMS. So you need to synchronize it before. So for now, you don't have the button to synchronize your course. But if you need to do it, you can just send us an email and we will synchronize it for you, allowing you to select your group just after. So here I will select 4 groups, for example. I click on enroll. And here I can see that I have my 4 groups enrolled. If I don't manage the groups in my LMS, I can also import them with an Excel sheet. So to do it, I will unenroll all these participants. And to do it, I can just click on this button and to click on import participants. Then I can see the import format needed just here to see how I have to organize my Excel sheet. And I can copy paste the data just here. So I prepared an Excel sheet before. I just copy paste the data here. I can click on check. So it's telling me that 3 teams will be created with 3 users, and 5 users. And I can click on import. And then I will have the 3 teams enrolled. So I have guide I will send to you to indicate precisely how you can import your students. If you need help to do this task, do not hesitate to ask us and we'll help you to do it. Then you can define the settings for the assessment of work phase. So here you will define a start date and a end date, instructions, and the assessment criteria. So in our use case, which is how to prevent AI plagiarism, allowing the student to indicate if the work they are assessing seem to be produced by an AI tool, we will have a criterion named authenticity and originality of the work. And we have a description allowing the student to understand, for example, from 1 to 3 stars, work seems generic and lack nuance or depth in arguments, excessive use of jargon or technical terms not directly related to the topic, complete lack of errors, including the usual human errors, could indicate automated generation. And you have a description for a different step. And by this way, the student will understand how to use this criterion. And with this criterion, it will allow the student to indicate if the work seems to be produced by an AI tool. So you can add this kind of criterion and to use other kind of criterion. But at the moment you have one this criterion in your challenge, it will allow the student to indicate this thing, and you will be able to filter it in the administration interface. I will show you how just after. Yes, I just forgot. Each of the criterion will be rated from 1 to 10 stars. By the students, and if you want to add more criteria, you can do it by clicking or predefined criteria. So you can pick criteria from our ChallengeMe database, and you can also create criterion from scratch by clicking on Add Criterion, and then you will be able to add a name and a description. And you can also delete criterion, of course, if you want. Then you have an option tab where you will be able to indicate if you want to activate a global feedback field, the number of work to be assessed by participants. So here it's 3. It means that each student will have to assess 3 pieces of work. And it's the system that will allocate the work to be assessed to each student. It will be done automatically. And then we have the participant tab allowing allowing us to enroll the student in this phase. So if you want to use the same students enrolled in the submission phase, you just have to click on reuse enrollment from phase and select the phase. So if you want to enroll the student individually, you can click on individually, which is the most common way to do it when you have a submission working group. And you can click on individually, and then all the students in the submission phase will be enrolled in the assessment phase, but individually. Then we can define the setting of this phase. So you have the same settings here. You can use the same criterion we used in the assessment of the work by the students. So you can also define specific criterion if you want for the teacher. And you can also enroll just the teacher here. If you have 2 teachers, you can enroll 2 teachers. And then you can set up the result phase to indicate what kind of information you want to present to the student. So here are the different options. So here I let everything checked, but if you want to display only the feedback received and not the score, you can just check the feedback. And you can click on save. So now we create this challenge with authenticity criterion. And now I will show you what will happen for the students, so what they will be able to see. So to do it, I will switch to the student side in Moodle. And I will click on a challenge to see what they will be able to see. So here we'll switch to English. Sorry, some of information will still be in French, but if you need more information, do not hesitate to ask me. So as a student, I will be able to see the 3 phases I'm enrolled to. So here I have a submission phase here, the assessment of phase of work here, and the result phase. So by clicking on the phase, for example, the submission phase, I can submit my work. So here it's a group work. I can see my teammates just here. I can submit my work with a text or also by adding attachment. So we accept all kinds of files, video, PDF, audio. So you can ask any kind of file to your students. I will click on validate. Then during the assessment of work phase, I can find out the two work I have to assess, and I will be able to assess it with the different criterion presented here. So here I can read the work I have to assess, and I will be able to rate it with a different criterion, and I will be able to rate it also with these criterions, the authenticity criterion, to indicate if it seems to be produced by an AI tool. If it's the case, I will indicate that it's not really authentic. So I will be able to rate it with 2 or 3 stars, for example. And depending on the criteria I use, I will be able to rate the other criterion. And I will also have the possibility to give a feedback. I will do it for the second work I have to assess. And at the result phase, I can see the different score I received. So the score from the student and the score from the teacher here. And I have more information like the different, the average by criterion. So here I can see that I received pretty good score on most of the criterion, except the authenticity criterion, indicating that my production seems to be produced by an AI tool. And I have the feedback received on my work. And for the teacher, it will be the teacher will have the possibility to filter to access easily the students who have a bad grade on this authenticity criterion. To do it, I'm logged as a teacher. I click on my activity. And then I will be redirected to this interface, which is the administration interface. I can see the different phase of my challenge. And here I can have all the participants of my challenge. So I can see if they have validated the work, how many assessments they received, the average score, how many feedback they sent, etc. So for each of the phase. And the interesting thing here for this use case is that I will have the possibility to add a column with a specific criterion. So here I will choose the authenticity criterion to see if some of the students received a bad grade on this criterion. So if, for example, I can see I got Bertrand received a 3 out of 10 on this criterion, and it means that this work seemed to be produced by an AI tool. That's what their teammates indicate by scoring this criterion. So I can see all of the score just here, and I can see easily this information. That's how you can, as a teacher, identify the work potentially done by an AI tool. So this is how you can use this use case. If you, in this interface, you can access all the data. So I have a specific video on this interface. I will send it to you, but quickly, I can show you how to use it. So if you click on a student, you will have the assessment received just here. You have the assessment sent. You can also see the average by criterion compared with the average of the class. So you have lots of information you can use. If you need to edit the assessment, you can do it. If you need to invalidate it, you can also do it. And you can export all the data with an Excel sheet by clicking on this button. But I will send you all the guides related to this interface after the webinar. So now I can show you the second use case. So I won't show you everything regarding how to set up the challenge. I will just show you the student side, and it will let you understand how you can launch this use case. So to remind, in this use case, we'll ask the student to produce a work using an AI tool and to submit also the prompt they used to generate it. And then they will be able to find out the prompt of others and to see, okay, what is a good way to use the different AI tool. I will click on this challenge as a student. So for the submission phase, I can see the instructions here, and in the instructions, I can see that it asks me to submit the work generated and the prompt. So what I will do as a student, I will do it like that. I will submit the generated text and the prompt I use to generate it. And I will click on validate. Then during the assessment phase, I will be able to find out the generated work and the prompt used by my teammates. So this one, for example, but this way I can think about, okay, is it a good way to use ChatGPT, if we use ChatGPT, for example, and what this prompt will generate? Is it correct? Is it relevant? So I will have to think about the generated work ChatGPT generated, and I will the different criteria will help me to think about the relevance of this generated text. So I will be able to rate the different criterion. It will help me to think about what is relevant in this text and how I can improve it. And I will be able to see different prompts used by my teammates and to compare to see what is the better way to use it. And then in the result phase, I will be able to see the score by the average by criterion and the different feedback I received on how I can improve my prompt, what are the good things in the generated text, how I can improve it. So it will help me to understand how I can use in an efficient way this kind of tool, and not just by do the job quickly without thinking about what have been generated by the AI tool. So it's a lot of information in 30 minutes. So I'm done with this presentation. I will send you resources just after with a replay of this webinar. But if you have questions now, do not hesitate to activate your microphone or to ask me in the chat. And if you want to see again some interfaces or if you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I do have a question.
Yes.
So when the students are evaluating other people's work,
Yeah.
are they randomly assigned?
Yes.
Several, okay.
In fact, you can choose between let the system to randomly assign the work to be assessed. So let's imagine you define 3 work to be assessed per student. When the work will log in, we will present to the student the 3 work to assess. And so by this way, you're sure that all the work will have the same amount of assessment. But you can also do it manually. If you have some constraint, you can do it manually to indicate who have to assess who.
Gotcha. And in your first usage scenario
Yeah.
with the authenticity check, what if, so I can imagine 2 scenarios. So for the students who don't normally use AI tools, they are not able to identify the language patterns used by AI. And for those students who normally use them, I guess they can collude with other students and just help each other and say, no, they're not using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that's true that it's a possibility that if the student don't want to do it, but I think if it happened, maybe it won't be all the students. And the interesting thing here is if a student received a bad grade on this criterion, it means that he received a bad grade because if the student was assessed by 3 students, the 3 students gave him a bad grade of this criterion. So if a student among these 3 students didn't want to assess this criterion correctly, the 2 others will. So you will still be able to identify. So you have, if all the students are agreed to put a good grade on this criterion Yeah, of course it won't work, but it shouldn't happen for the whole class normally.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Do you have other questions? Do not hesitate.
Yeah, actually, when will we be able to use this ChallengeMe tool? Because I checked my school's Moodle. It doesn't seem like we have
From which school
incorporated.
do you what is the school you're teaching?
Grenoble Economy Management.
Okay, so normally you should have this. Is it Andres Gonzalez you work with? Do you know him?
I don't.
I will send you how you can add a ChallengeMe activity, and if you can't see the ChallengeMe in the Moodle selector, I will.
It's not in Moodle as
Okay.
far as I can
Okay.
see.
Normally you should have access to the tool, but I will check with you just after.
Yeah, and even when I search for ChallengeMe, there's no search result
Okay, so
in Moodle
I know
activity and resources.
I know in Grenoble École of Management you have 3 Moodle, so maybe I have to check with Andres, but I will check and I will tell you how you can do it.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if you have, if anyone have other questions, do not hesitate to send me an email. By responding to the email I will send you with the different resources, and I will be glad to answer it. So thank you for attending this webinar, and I hope see you soon in ChallengeMe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jean. This was very useful.
Thank you, Eva.
Merci beaucoup, Jean.
Merci.
Bye-bye.
Bye.